Merry Christmas,
What's happening?
From Loudmouth is here. The gang are back. It's nice to see you all. If you're watching this live, hello. If you're going to be watching this on the rerun later on, hello to you too. I'll just introduce our guest for you. We've got more coming in later. We've got Jake, who's Punk Chef 41, Sheffield Wednesday fan. Good evening, Jake.
Evening. I've got it already. I've got a suit on. I've got a garden party behind it. We're fine.
It's looking good. Then we've got Door on tour. Mr. Door, Nottingham Forest fan. Good evening, Mr. Door.
No, my new name's Door Boris, so that's my new name. So I've got my alcohol, my cheese is somewhere. So yeah, I'm ready.
Door Boris, right? Okay.
Door Boris.
Below Door, we've got Nappers, Cos Vlogs. Good evening, Ben. Another Ben. How are you?
I'm very well, Lee. Thank you. Looking forward to it.
Good. And next to him, we have got the infamous Loudmouth BFC.
How come we didn't get that introduction?
He's like the Scarlet Pimpernel. We can't find him anywhere. How are you, Matthew?
The contract has been re-signed. He's re-inked back up. All the tension gone. It was a bit scary on social media, but he said his apologies and he's back in.
Yeah, I'm very well, thanks, mate. Appreciate you guys inviting me back on again. It's good to see you all fit and well.
I have to say, you're looking a bit leaner and meaner somehow along the line. Is this all to do with your coaching? Well, we'll find out later, but you're certainly looking fit.
Thank you very much, mate. Appreciate that.
Yeah, very impressed looking. All the ladies on there saying, who's this hunk in the middle down there? Next to Loudmouth, we have got Gogsy, who's just arrived. Motherwell fan. Scotland are in the house. Good evening, Gogsy. How are you?
Never do that again.
What, is that not Scottish enough? I thought that was pretty good. Nah. Okay. How are you, sir?
I'm good, Lee. Thanks for having me on.
Oh,
nice to see so many familiar faces as well.
Yeah, it's nice to have you all on. What I'm going to do, I'm just going to go around you again. I'm just going to find out what's been going on at your club. So I've been having a look at you, Jake. Sheffield Wednesday, 7th at the moment, 37 points, scored 30, 21 against. How's it going at Sheffield Wednesday? That doesn't look too bad.
It started off pretty rough, but we're getting back into it. We've gone 12 unbeaten for the first time in 3 years. We finally got one of our curses off our back, which was we hadn't been able to score a goal from having the lead taken off us and then coming back for like 2 years. And now we've got to try and do the voodoo of 2016. And we haven't done that since Birmingham City when we had Gary Hooper and all that. So things are on the up. We just need to have a decent little transfer window and we can do a little bit of push. But Darren Moore's doing the business. He's being left to do what he wants. The only issue is now our owner's back in town. And the first thing he did was said, hey, here's the season ticket for next season. Pay up now.
Really?
Yeah.
Right.
So
okay.
it was all lovely when he stayed in Thailand, but he's back over now. So
yeah,
we're waiting for it all to hit the fan.
He's a bit of a nightmare, this guy, isn't he? He's a total nightmare. He's another one of these owners that just wants getting rid of, isn't he?
I don't say get rid of, but he needs to learn to we were doing well when he was like behind the scenes, not involved day-to-day running of what we could see anyway. But he's now back and it's gone a bit weird. So it'll be interesting to see what happens.
Okay. Let's hope it improves for you and hope he's not too bad. Ian Barron actually says, great green screen as well.
I thought it was appropriate. I've got to thank Door for that. Door gave me the inspiration to go get it.
Yeah, no one snitched. No one snitched to Boris, so we linked up.
Door, you've got your Christmas jumper on now as well, have you? You're back in your Christmas jumper now.
Yeah,
Perfect,
the theme of everyone, so might as well.
We'll go to you next then. So Forest at the moment, 7th in the league. They've come a long way from where you were bottom of the league. You got rid of Cuton and brought in Steve Cooper. Things have changed. You look like you're flying now.
Yeah, it was weird because the last. If people remember on the screen, the time Chris Hooton got appointed. I remember Nappers will remember this. I said Hooton's football was boring.
Yes,
and it got worse, didn't it? It got absolutely worse. This season it started really, really bad. 1 point out of 7 games. That point was against Derby, and then he got sacked. And then Steve Cooper come in.
Yeah.
What can I say? What a man! What
Changed
a
it.
man.
Turned it around.
He's changed everything. Our away record is he hasn't lost yet away, and we're beating teams that are our bogey side. So we're safe in the league, and we're the best team on form wise in the league so far. So what can I say? Steve Cooper is the man, legend.
He's unbelievable. He's really turned it around, hasn't he? I've just seen we've just had £5 from Coast to Chow. Saying, can he come and join in? You can, but in the second hour.
Is that a bribe? Did anyone else pay it?
Yes, bribes are taken to come on. Anybody can raise. If you can raise more than £5, get yourself.
In all
on.
fairness, Lee, let him join for 50 quid each because I've got to get my mum something for Christmas. I ain't started
yet. Brad
Might
Foley
pay for our
says,
COVID fines.
am I going to Huddersfield? Yes, I certainly am going to Huddersfield. Right, we'll move on to Cod's Vlogs, to Ben. Ben, at the moment, looking at you, you're 18th, 22 points out of 22 games, so a point a game, not great, really. You've scored, how many scored? 36-4, but you've let in 40. Blimey, what's going on? So I know you've sacked the manager, so tell us all about it.
It says it all when we beat Gillingham at home. You lose to Derby, you're all depressed because 14th in the Championship at the time in your first season back, and we're a point above relegation zone, and we're all out partying because we beat Gillingham at home, and that's how far and how far you've gone, and how far we've sunk in these last few months.
Yeah,
we did appoint Grayson permanent, which happened on my 19th birthday, which was an absolute delight. Then it just got worse, really, if I'm honest with you. We did have a little bit of a fight under him. We came back in a lot of games. He made a lot of positive substitutions, to be fair to him. We scored a lot of goals. I think he kind of went against himself a little bit, where normally his sides are hard to beat, back five, really hard to break down, win a lot of, 1-0, 2-1, those types of results. But he just never really got the best out of the youth. I found it was long ball at the time, balls down the side, crosses, which I fully expected. And then, Cranier's come in, probably at the right time. He's worked with a lot of these players, like some Morris's, the likes of Jay Matete's, the James Hills, and those types of players. Jed Garner, who's our top goal scorer, he's worked with them before, and we're just playing football on the floor now. And again today, he's given him the permanent, basically managerial role till the end of the season, which I think is, right.
Yeah.
Do I think we'll stay up? If I'm honest with you, I think we'll struggle. I think it's between the four that are down there now. Then there's also Wimbledon. I think Cambridge will get dragged in, but I'm under no illusions. It's still going to be a tough season. But Grayson's gone for now, thank God. I didn't like the Grayson out chance. I'm just not a fan of that. But in fairness, I was at Oxford and we were 2-0 down after 7 minutes. And as soon as that second went in, you just knew he was curtains.
Yeah, it was going. It's probably a blessing, actually, isn't it, for you? And it'll be good for your mental health, I would imagine.
Oh, my mental health. Football didn't exist for about 3 months under Grayson.
No, and it's also sad to see, isn't it? I think, we were discussing that, before we started. You don't like to see a manager getting that sort of abuse and all that, week in, week out. It's pretty hard as a fan to watch, and it's not good. So it's great that you're moving on. So hopefully Fleetwood will be okay. Ian Barron has just posted something. He's posted it twice now. Rest in peace, Asagi Bascom. He's a 23-year-old ex-Darlington FC player, stabbed to death. That's terrible news. That's terrible news. That really is terrible news. Holo TV saying, am I all right? Yes, I am all right. I'm fine. Thank you very much. We'll move on to Loudmouth Barnet. He's a Barnet fan now. I look at Barnet, Matthew. The 14th, got 25 points. You seem to be more goals have been let in than scored, though. 24-4, 31. Is it a striker problem at Barnet, or is it deeper than that? Or
Well, Nat was going on about his mental health. Try being a Barnet fan, mate, where we stuck about 10 managers in a month. And you were going on about saying, it's a tough time, but you're in league football. Shut the fuck up, you.
You're doing better than last year, at least.
Mate, it can't get any worse. We started off with, again, another appointment we should never have had in Harry Kewell, and I can't remember how many games he went in where we didn't win. It was just a load of shit, and he needed to go. We did turn it around a tiny bit, and at the moment, some results have improved.
Here he is.
We've just let Benjamin Bloom in. Actually, he's been waiting behind, I think, for about half an hour. Have you? I haven't seen you were there. You dropped below the list, Benjamin Bloom.
Don't worry, I was just enjoying hearing about Barnet. Carry on.
Are they letting you in, Barnet, now, Loudmouth, or are you still barred or something? Have they barred you? Or do you have to go in? What's the situation?
No, I never got cancelled. I just retired from YouTube. But no, because now I'm actually coaching on Saturdays, so that's why I don't actually go and watch Barnet anymore. Which is half the reason why I stopped the football vlogging. It was always going to come to an end anyway.
Yeah. Who are you coaching, Matt?
I am first team coach for a team called Letchworth Garden City Eagles, based in East South, Spartans Midlands Division 1. Wow. So it's step 6 football, but you've got to start somewhere before I take over from Southgate, because he's fucking shit.
Loudmouth, get a job at Derby. They'll pay you.
So where are you in the league, Matt? How are you doing? How are this team doing? We need to follow these, don't we? Just say the name again. We need to find out what they're called.
Letchworth Garden City Eagles.
Letchworth Garden City Eagles. It's nice. That's a great name, isn't it?
Is that all one word?
No, it's not one word. It's a mouthful. Don't get me wrong, and it does sound like one of those dodgy American soccer teams, really, don't it? But
Have one of you got your sound on? Because I'm just hearing 2. That's all. I'm just hearing some. No, it's not a click. It's just I can hear somebody's got like a bit of sound on.
Nappers is getting PTSD.
No, it's no problem. It's just if you just
12 minutes in and we're in it.
No, what's the results?
We know after all this contract was signed and that Loudmouth gone, he'd gone back coaching.
What's the results been like then?
Well, again, it's quite inconsistent because none of the boys are getting paid at this level. So, they're giving up a lot of free time to travel quite a distance away. So, we have got a very good squad. It's just trying to find that good balance. So we're just trying to survive this season, and next season, we'll take it to the next stratosphere.
Wow. Spoken like a true coach.
So how are you finding it? Like, with recruiting players and, keeping them happy and, all the sort of stuff that managers go through. But what's it like, down there? Obviously players not getting paid, are they? Do they get paid, or are they all?
No, do you know what? Because I've done Sunday League football for about 10 years and I know that, from like the back of my hand, none of them got paid, but it is what it is. They'll turn up half cut and still score an hat-trick. That's Sunday League football. You know what I mean? If you take a shot and you miss it and you're like, hey, you're getting the beers in, you wanker. It's not really like that. It's Saturday football. I mean, it is a different level, and you realise what it is that goes into it. I mean,
right?
None of them pay for anything, but at the same time, they're expected to do so much. It's good because you're learning a lot about how it starts from this level and goes all the way up. Because we'll be in the FA Vars next year.
Right.
Nice.
Cool.
There you go. I'll be on Football Manager soon, lads. Don't worry about
it. Exciting times. Right, we'll move on to Gogsy. We'll go to Scotland. I won't use a Scottish accent, since that last one wasn't too good. So, Motherwell doing okay, I would say. Fourth in the Scottish Premier League.
Surprisingly, we are 4th in the league. Yeah, after a gloomy start to the season. Where we struggled in our Premier Sports Cup group, which you probably don't know anything about, so I won't bore you with it.
No, tell us about it. We don't know, so tell everybody about it. Well,
we lost to our greatest rivals, Airdrieonians, in amongst that 2-0, but we still sailed through the group, and we ended up getting knocked out by Dundee, which was a bit painful to watch. But since then, we've sort of turned a corner. Graham Alexander's picked up 2 Manager of the Month awards, which I couldn't believe for the second one. But we've been picking up some really good results. We've challenged Rangers. We drew with Rangers away. We got some good scalps against Hearts and Aberdeen, and we should have beat Hibs the other week as well. And the fact that we're 4th in the league, I can't believe it. But passports already looked out in case COVID doesn't stop us from going to Europe next year. But I want to talk to you about a couple of signings we've made this year. We splashed out on Liam Kelly, spent about £300,000 on him from QPR, who was absolutely excellent. He's been the signing of the season for us. I would also say a couple other big players. We've got Callum Slattery from Southampton, who's been very good. Sean Goss we got on a free as well, and Tony Watt and Kevin Van Veen up top have been excellent, and just two fantastic players that work well really together.
Fantastic! It sounds like it's a pretty decent season then, because I was looking at your sort of tagline. It says every day is an away day.
Yeah.
So obviously things have improved since then.
Yeah, definitely.
Yeah, that's good to know. Below him, good evening, Benjamin Bloom. Welcome to the show.
It's got Bloom.
Good evening. I've kept in touch with Nappers and Dor. I've spoken to Jake. I haven't spoken to Loudmouth or Gogsy since we last did something. So, good evening, guys. Nice to catch up. I've just seen Nathan Nappers will be interested in this. Nathan Broadhead has just scored at the Emirates for Sunderland.
6 in 6.
Oh, so he took it beautifully. I'm all good, thank you very much, Lee, and very happy to check back in with everybody.
Yeah. So, are you still following Ipswich? You still follow them as well as doing all your stuff, because you're a busy man. I've got to congratulate really on 20,000 subscribers. That's a big achievement.
Cheers. Yeah. You know, bloody slog, as all you lot know as well. I try my absolute best. I check in with Nappers on League One. I wholeheartedly admit I don't know as much about League One as I do about the Championship, and my team plays in League One, for God's sakes. Yeah. And I've only managed to. I had a daughter in August.
Congratulations!
Thank you. Thank you.
What's she called?
What's she
called?
Enid, born on August the 11th. So that was a bit of a change. So I've seen Ipswich play once this season in the flesh, and it was the best performance of the season. To beat Wickham 4-1, and then Paul Cook was sacked, and now it's a new manager, and it's just absolute peak Ipswich. Have the best squad they've had in years. I can see Jake, as a League One fan, rolling his eyes as we've attempted to buy the league and failed miserably.
Well, my whole situation was great story, great stuff. As Sheeran comes on board, you've got all this money coming through, and only Ipswich could actually do this. And I'm looking at that squad going, how are they there?
I know, it is quite unbelievable.
There's a story, Lee, that when we were good and finished 5th in the Premier League, apparently they knocked down the North Stand. This is in 2001, and disturbed the grave. And since then, we've been cursed. ITV Digital went bust, relegated, administration, one playoff in the last 20 years, relegation, and I mean, I'm just thinking about since you've been supporting, guys, just put your hand up. Have you seen your team get promoted?
No, because we've always been in the top flight.
Well, there you go. First world problems indeed. But look, all of you have seen your team promoted. Yeah, I'm lucky enough to have seen my team, win at Anfield and finish 5th in the Premier League and play away at Inter Milan. But if I was 15 years younger, all I would have seen is a load of Championship and Ipswich just labouring. And I'm sure Dora will be able to relate to this in 4 or 5 years, because Forest are putting that number up now, aren't they, of consecutive Championship seasons? But is it 24? I mean, is it 20? No, we've got a record, haven't we? We went 17. I don't know how many. Well, you're going to be out on your own when Derby get relegated at the end of the season.
I love that's the best thing you've ever said, Benjamin. Derby getting relegated.
I mean, it's not a stretch, is it? With a 21 point, it's not really my most insightful prediction, but we
let you down there, Dor. We let you down, Derby. I'm so disappointed we didn't beat Derby.
Happy to check in.
You're disappointed you didn't beat Derby. I'm fuming we didn't beat Derby.
Oh, days, man. But unbelievable.
Yeah. So I suppose you are, Jay. Yeah, that was you'd be in the Championship, wouldn't you? Still, I suppose you nearly did it, didn't you?
Yeah, so close. It was actually quite funny because I'm celebrating, and then suddenly my little girl walked in, going, "Dad, are you doing well?" And I look at telly. No, we're not, darling.
Seriously though, Jake, as a neutral, that was the best bit of TV.
Oh, it
because
really was.
There was a point in the last 10 minutes where all four were surviving for like 2 minutes. Rotherham was safe, and then Derby was safe, and then Wednesday was safe, and then it ended up.
It was really good if you're neutral, but if you're fan of it, it was
heartbreaking.
It summed our season up and our time in the Championship at that moment to a T. I
remember you saying you'd rather get relegated by 7 points with the 6-point deduction than anything less than that, because you'd just be gutted blaming the deduction. But there you go.
I was going to touch on Boxing Day games, and if you want to touch on that. I know somebody's actually asked a question. Let me go back in the chat. Eugene McGeever, hello Eugene. He says, what signings do your clubs would like to sign in January transfer window? He says hi to Ben as well. So I imagine that's Cos Vlogs. Ben, so
might be me. Is it you, Nappers?
Or me?
There's another Ben. There's 3 Bens.
Yeah, there's 3 Bens actually. Isn't we've got Benjamin Bloom.
I'm on the better Ben. I'm on top.
Yes. So, well, just hi to all Bens, I think it is. Yeah. So, do you want to talk about your Boxing Day fixtures coming up, or would you rather talk about who you would like to see your club signing? It's entirely up to you guys. Choice is yours.
Transfer window.
Transfer window. Okay, so we'll do the transfer window. We'll start off with you, Dawson, as you've just promoted yourself to number 1 on the page. So
can I just make an observation, Lee? Sorry about Forest transfer window. They've got to sell their third choice. They've got to sell their third choice centre back to Olympiacos for way over his value first, haven't they, Dawn? Before you can sign anyone.
Tell us more.
That's the deal, isn't it?
That's the deal. I think it would be like the player that we've not played. We'll sell him for like 20 million. So
player laundering, it's called player laundering.
No, it is. It's laundering. That's what we're doing. So I don't care. But yeah, what I've said. We need a striker. Because to be fair, right, Lewis Grabban has been fantastic since Lee Cooper's come in. I think he scored 10 goals now.
Yeah.
And because he was shocking against Houghton, but since Cooper's in, him scoring 10 goals. But we need a striker because Lau Taylor, I know he scored 2 goals in the last 47 seconds against Bristol City. But
did he score against us? Did he score against us?
Grabban scored. Yeah, he did.
Yes, I thought he did. Yeah, bloody hell, he's not scored any goals against us.
What about Cole Stockton?
Oh, like that. I like that a lot.
Cole Stockton.
Listen to this man, Dor.
Yeah, he's
a
great player. Yeah.
So basically, this is the man who's got 14 goals for Morecambe, by the way.
If Morecambe lose
14 goals already, right?
I'll take him.
13 last year.
Yeah.
But honestly, I put him up there with Michael Smith, up there in League One as the best striker in League One, just for
clinical.
The ball sticks to him.
But if Morecambe lose him, they're done.
I won't mention who he did it against, but he scored in the 95th minute.
So his own half? Was it from his own half?
He lobbed the goalkeeper in front of 1,200 Morecambe fans in a derby against the relegation-bound side. So
it was
against, but yeah.
Have you seen that goal, by the way?
Yeah.
Have you all seen that goal?
He also
watched Ben's vlog just to see his reaction. Actually, was quite good. You took it quite well, didn't you?
Oh, I didn't. I thought I gave myself 10 seconds, and the wall behind me, I punched it. I was fuming. Honestly, I was like, and then I was just like, oh my god, it's not going to end here, is it?
I know, and you just showed the Morecambe fans. That was the end of your video. It was all celebration.
I was too many ages deeply to care at that point, if I'm honest with you.
I was just going to say, Dor, I was thinking, who did Stevie Cooper have at Swansea? But that was the whole problem at Swansea. He was always playing wingers up front. He's got better strikers at Forest than he had at Swansea. But I love the Cole Stockton shout.
Isn't he rumoured to go after Brewster at United? Sheffield United? The talk of him going after him.
That's not bad shout.
At the start there was, but...
Would they load him through the same division, though?
That's the problem. I don't think he will. Because like Sheffield United are doing well. The one against Fulham the other day.
Yeah, they did. Good result.
But I don't see it happening. He's a young player. Don't get me wrong. He's a talented player. But I just don't think Forest will go that way. If I'm honest, it'd be nice, but...
The only thing I can think of, the Cooper link-up, he had the best bell under Swansea with Cooper as manager. He's not really done it well at United, and it seems like he's struggling for confidence. If you need a manager who can get the confidence out of that player, he's there. And you give Sheffield United a bit of cash, and they'll probably say yes to it because they want to invest into that squad anyway.
Yeah, because I know, like I said, Sheffield United doing well. They want, what I'm hearing, they want low back as well. So that could be another problem for us as well. So as well as Spence, he could be going back to Middlesbrough.
If you're Sheffield United and you loan Brewster to Forest and he scores 15 goals and Forest get in the playoffs, you look really stupid, don't you?
I know, 100%, 100%. But like I said, we need a striker just to help out Graben. Like I said, Taylor, he's been all right, but we need a striker just to push us up more.
Dude, I still can't believe you have Lewis Graben. He was awful when he came to us. Awful.
Was it?
What with Sunderland though? Wasn't he on Sunderland till the die? He looked a really good player. Actually.
We had Lewis Graben on loan from Millwall. I'm pretty sure about 12 years ago, and he was awful.
Yeah, he was.
He was awful.
Just some players just don't fit in. I've just been told actually off air that Taylor
not good enough for the Scottish League.
Didn't score against us, apparently, Taylor. It was Graben and Johnson against Blackpool. So there we are.
Oh, okay. Yeah.
So I'll thank you very much, Tyler, for that.
I'll take Tyler's another striker for Forest. But yeah.
A striker. Just before we go on to Ben for who he wants, I'll just introduce Tyler Rowlinson, just come in, Charlton Athletic fan. Good evening, Tyler. Glad to have you with us. 12th in the league, 29 points, 30 goals for, 28 against. Is that a bit... We expecting a bit better than that, really?
Well, it's better than what we were doing a couple of months ago, that's for sure.
Yeah.
Especially under when we were under Nigel Adkins. I put that era all far behind us. Me now, that was just an absolute nightmare. But we turned the corner now under Jackson. A lot better now, mid-table. Glad he's got the job. But yeah, we're still nowhere near where I expected us. I expected us to at least be top 6. But well, that's what it is this year. I think Adkins put us too far into a hole where it's just non-recoverable at this point now. It's basically just a case of finish as high as we can and go again next year. I don't think we're going up, but if he does, Jackson deserves a knighthood.
Tyler, can we have Harry Arter back, please?
Yeah, sure, take him. He's stealing a wage here, so take him back.
I like Harry Arter.
He's played like 2 or 3 games and then got injured, and we ain't used him since. So I don't even know how good he is, to be honest with you. So have him back.
Yeah, I like him, man. I like him. Oh yeah.
So Ben, Cos Vlogs, January transfer window. If you had to ask Father Christmas for anybody at the moment, who would you like coming into?
Strap in, lads. This is going to be a
while. Can you get Is it?
Honestly, for me, Fleetwood will lose, I'd say, 5 players in January. James Hill's going. He'll go for near enough £1 million. Jimmy Tetty will go for near enough £1 million, which is good money for the football club. Then we'll probably send Edmondson back on loan. We'll send Max Clark. So there'll be a lot. Because you've got to remember, Fleetwood can only have 22 players as well because of the embargo. I probably, if I had to say one, a left centre half. Someone who can play, comfortable left centre half. One who I was kind of looking into. They play, one of these fans' current club. They had him on loan a few years ago, Lewis Gibson. At Wednesday now, and he wasn't really getting a game, but it looks like
been injured.
He would have been perfect. Left-footed, centre half, can operate at left back. I prompt any centre half, please, that can kick a ball, head a ball, and can keep awake for 95 minutes.
Yeah, you're kind of letting in quite a lot of goals, aren't you, Fleetwood? So it's that defence. Is that your problem defensively, do you think?
Yeah, we conceded 40 goals this year. Only Morecambe on 44 have conceded more, which is a worry. We've scored a lot of goals. Danny Angie from left back has got 6 goals and 6 assists. Unbelievable from set pieces, dead ball situations, unbelievable. So if we can tighten up at the back, which we have done under Craney, to be fair, Park conceded 5 to Accrington. We've not been too bad. We've got 2 clean sheets in 3. So we're just so thin on the ground. We've got so many injuries. Our captain's injured. Our number 9 is injured. Our you name it, he's injured. He's been, and these aren't little injuries. These are Achilles injuries, hamstring injuries, skull injuries. It's unbelievable, unbelievable what we've been through.
It's like an episode of Casualty that you're talking about.
It is. Honestly, it's like The Walking Dead, and that's what it's like, really. And I said about Wimbledon away. I said, Fleet, we need to get through to the end of the game. It was 1-1 at the time. We drew 2-2. Then I referred to, instead, we need to get through this next 31 days or 6 games, really. We need to get something out of these games if we have a chance of staying up. And luckily, we've got 8 points. And we've got Shrewsbury, we're down there now. And then we've got Wigan and Sunderland, who are the 2 of the best 3 sides in the league. Rather than we play in a couple of weeks after that. So it's going to be a tough period.
You're muted, Lee.
Yes, I muted myself. I was just trying to see if it was me that was getting the feedback. Somehow I can't figure. There's some like a little bit of feedback. Somebody's
it's Nappers. Kick him out. Kick him out.
It's like if you've got a sound on your computer. It's like we're hearing ourselves.
It's Loudmouth. Get him off.
Shut up, you.
Oh, Loudmouth. I suppose the question, I don't know whether to ask you for Barnet or whether you actually feel for the team you're actually coaching at the moment.
What's that team called, Lee? Can you remember?
God, it's no. I need a pen.
I like how he tried to go. No.
I can't remember it at all. I got it. Something Garden City something.
Welling.
Hang on.
It's not Welling, it's Letchworth.
I'm gonna
write
it down.
Okay, we are Letchworth Garden City. We play in the Spartan South Midland Football League.
Letchworth Garden City.
Letchworth Garden City, Spartan South Midland Football League. That is what we play in.
Right, okay. So, should I ask you for Barnet or for yourself? Is there any players that you would like to be signing? And how do you scout? Do you have any scouts?
Yeah, constantly. I'm always looking when we've done a game. But I'll be honest with you, mate. I haven't, apart from keeping up to date with how Barnet's results are going.
Right.
A player could walk past me down the street and wouldn't have a fucking Scooby who he was. I'm not going to lie. I've always said we're a glorified Sunday League side. We're always going for a transition, signing players left, right, and centre. Can you play for £600 a week? Okay, you've signed. That's it. That's that's how it is with Barnet nowadays. So I couldn't tell you, mate, regarding what Barnet's about. But regarding Letchworth, we need a striker. So if anyone's available, 25 a season. Sign-on fees, a McDonald's breakfast and a packet of Haribo. Actually, that's a lie. I'm going to keep the Haribo for myself.
Okay, Gogsy.
I'll have chicken if you. Is that okay? Chicken.
Where do you get chicken in a McDonald's breakfast?
I said chicken. I signed for you.
You just want me to buy you chicken and then you'll play for us?
Yeah, chicken.
Easy deal.
Can you guarantee me 25 goals? Not own goals.
No.
I just thought you'd have been a bit of a player there, Dorothy, in your day early on.
Just a little bit. Yeah.
What level did you ever play? Did you play Sunday League or anything?
Saturday football.
Saturday, did you? Okay.
Yeah, chicken. I'll sign for you, lad.
Nappers is a mean footballer, aren't you, Ben? There, you're a pretty decent footballer on the quiet.
Am I?
I have heard. I thought you were.
I'm really not. No. I just drink on a Saturday, Lee, and sprout rubbish. That's all I do.
Oh,
so you are a fantastic Sunday League player, then.
That
is it.
Put me up front for a reason to get me out of the way.
Does anyone fancy joining Loudmouth then? Is anybody good enough to get him 25 goals? Anybody fancy it on here? No?
Send me a message. We'll go from there.
So, Gogsy, Motherwell, come on. Is there anybody you've got?
I mean,
any rumours maybe that you've heard?
Well, there is rumour that there are a few clubs sniffing about Tony Watt because he's going to be out of contract at the end of the season.
Right.
So there is. Let's face it, he's gone. I'll happily take $500,000 for him in the January, because I mean he scored 9 goals. It's one of his best ever seasons, and usually with Tony Watt, like he doesn't spend more than a season at a club. So the fact that we're into well over a second season with him now is a miracle, to be honest. A player that I would like us to have a look at signing. Dora's probably going to have a laugh at this one, because Motherwell signed him on loan from Nottingham Forest when he was at the Forest under 23s. Is Boli Aribi, a very fast winger. It's very skillful as well, and he was fantastic with us. Scored twice, but he's at a team in Turkey at the moment. He's not actually kicked a ball for them, so I'd love to see us get him in and make the most of our winter break and actually get him match fit. See if he's still can recreate any of the beauty that he could for us at Fir Park. That'd be fantastic. As for anyone else, I don't know, because with Motherwell we usually try and unearth a wee gem from like the National League. So we've already got a boy coming in from the Irish League who's the young player of the year for Bohemians.
Right.
So I'm looking forward.
You didn't unleash Justin Amaluza, though, did you? Because he's fucking shit.
I was actually having a chat with Justin Amaluza the other week there.
Do you remember me?
I'm not gonna. You probably gave him a terrible time, Matt.
I wouldn't even sign him for my Sunday side.
Explain what's gone on there then, because it's obviously we don't know.
The Barnet had a player called Justin Amaluza, and our chairman was giving it the big, and he's going to score 25 goals a season. He's going to be a fantastic player for us. Couldn't hear a barn door, and he's gone off to Motherwell now. And I remember Gorgsy sending me a message going, "What's he about?" And I went, "Mate, trust me, you will be crying just watching him play football."
I'll be honest. He didn't play that often, and then he came in for the first game or the last game before the start of the season against Annan Athletic, and he scored. But then when he actually played like against the Premiership side, he looked like Bambi and Ice.
It was basically the equivalent of League One West, basically.
He's like a B-Tech Theo Robinson, if you could ever get that.
Oh, he played for Southend, didn't he?
Good reference. He scored for
played
Lincoln
for us
in the
as
FA
well, and
Cup
he was
against
shit.
Ipswich. I remember him.
Played for Southend, yeah. Winger.
Yeah.
I think he went to Lincoln City after us.
Yeah.
And that was the season that Lincoln made that fantastic FA Cup run.
Yeah, they beat Ipswich, Gogsy, and Robinson scored.
Let's be honest, man. Anyone
they beat Ipswich in that run. I was there, yeah.
Oh dear. But he was awful at us as well. I think with the number 17 for us, it is cursed, because that's Namaluza, that's number 17. Theo Robinson's worn number 17. There's been a handful of others. Elliot Freer, Zane Francis Angle have all had. Well, Zane Francis Angle was actually all right with us, and then he ended up having a trial with Hamburg, which was absolutely bizarre. But yeah,
where was he in England? I recognise his name.
He started off at Tottenham. He's been at Kidderminster Harriers as well.
Is he a fullback?
He's a left wing back. Yeah.
Yeah, I thought he was. I've heard the name. It might be a Football Manager name that I've just heard, but
probably. Wouldn't surprise me.
Yeah, anything just related to Football Manager. Yeah, he's good.
What, the old classic Freddie Blue, yeah? Superstar in, weren't he?
I just quickly Googled best player wearing 17. Apparently, Kevin De Bruyne wears number 17. I thought, can we find someone good? Yeah, apparently so. Not for Motherwell.
If Kevin De Bruyne was wearing number 17 for Motherwell, he'd be the worst player in the world.
Erling Haaland apparently does as well.
Let me check for us.
Yeah. It's just a Motherwell curse then. Right. That's my transfer talk done.
I've actually got a question for you all, actually.
Go on.
So where your team are now,
yeah,
are you going to finish higher or lower?
Lower.
I think we're going to finish higher.
Hopefully higher.
If I'm honest with you, I thought Blackpool would stay up. I thought they'd be about 12th to 18th, and you're 12th at the moment.
Yeah.
Forest are on a good run, but for me, how long will that last? Wednesday.
What?
Forest on a good run, but how long will it last? Because with Forest, there's always a but. Do you know what I mean, though? There's always a but.
There's always a but. A big but.
Like,
This is good.
now.
But ask Benjamin Bloom. Ask Benjamin Bloom. We're doing it. We're doing it.
I tell you what,
it's not a year.
I should be paying you by the month, by the way. The amount I'm saving by you winning, just not buying popcorn and just watching you like that every video when you lose. I think Wednesday, to be fair, we'll get in the playoffs. You've only lost 3 times Wednesday.
Yeah.
Like, but they've drawn 10. They've drawn
We draw
more
FC.
than you've won.
We draw FC, and that's our issue.
But they're like, what? You're 12 unbeaten. Barnet doing all right for Barnet standards, which are pretty low. Motherwell are doing right, and Ipswich will probably be about top 10. But we're
doing more than all right, mate. We're fucking amazing at the moment.
Exactly. And Ipswich have done what Blackpool have done. Gone and got an under-23s academy manager, a young one, so it's going to take time. And Fleetwood are just Fleetwood.
I think with Blackpool that they always sort of struggled around Christmas time, and I always think that's and Jane thinks as well, because of the terrible training facilities they have down at Squires Gate, that it can't be a pleasurable time going training, and it always seems to affect them. And yet when the weather gets better, they come a bit. And I think with Blackpool, it all depends on this transfer window. If they get some. Really, we've been struggling to score goals, and I think we need an attacking midfielder, and just whether we'll get somebody in or not. I don't know.
The Embleton type.
Yeah, and Embleton would be really, really good, and he doesn't seem to be in favour at Sunderland.
He's injured.
Oh, is he injured? Okay, yeah. He'd be great. He would be really good. Somebody in the Charlie Adam mode, how can you find them? But that would be amazing.
Go and pay $2 million for Scott Twine.
He's actually in a prison cell at Dundee right now.
Who is?
Charlie Adam got arrested the other week.
What? No, he didn't. Did he?
For drink driving.
Oh, I've heard.
Allegedly.
Sorry,
allegedly.
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 Yeah.
Lee, get on that mute button quickly.
Yes.
Thank you for legal.
Allegedly.
Yeah, let's not cancel ourselves, lads. Let's just say allegedly. I mean, he's not banged up for no reason, is he?
I said nothing.
What did you get banged up for, mate? I don't know. I just took the car for a drive, had a drink, didn't I?
Blimey.
I ordered 3 carvery dinners, so I just have 3 pints of cider.
Swiftly moving on to Benjamin Bloom and the championship, probably with you, Benjamin. How do you think it's going to go?
Can I talk about Ipswich?
Yes, you can talk about Ipswich. You just said you didn't know anything about Ipswich.
I know plenty about Ipswich.
Go on then. What do you want for Ipswich then? Go on.
I merely said I know more about the championship than I do about Ipswich. It's levels, isn't it? Levels.
Yes.
So Ipswich don't need to sign any players because they've got way too many already. They need to they need to organise the ones they've got. Although I suspect we'll see a Manchester United under-23 player come in.
It sounds like you're lined up with about 4 already, ready to come in.
Well, if they basically for every player they bring in, they need to
let one out,
push two out. It's just about organising that.
Well, it looked like Norwood's going to go, but he's on fire.
The manager?
Too.
Well, that was 2 questions in one. Norwood, yeah, I agree. That looked like that was completely done. And then, as always happens, 3 games before the transfer window, they're back in the team and scoring. And like Dele Alli thing at Spurs, or like, oh no, he's staying and what have you. On the manager, I quite like it. Let's be honest. Ipswich have tried every type of manager in the last 20 years and they've all failed. So, McCarthy was good for 3 years and then essentially failed. So I don't mind it. I quite like it, but it's very much they need to organise what they've got rather than Nappers will probably agree with me. If that's competently coached, they've got enough quality there, but strangely, because I think we'd all probably agree Paul Cook's caliber is quite good. Just didn't work. Didn't work for whatever.
Takes time though with Cook, I noticed, but
it does. Yeah.
Thing is with Ipswich, I personally believe it'll be 18 months to 2.5 years until they're back in the Championship. With that squad, it's like Gary Neville used to say. The squad is full of 4 managers, really. You know what I mean? It's like having lasagna with chicken curry, pizza, and then a little bit of...
I like where this is going, Ben. You keep going, mate.
All great food, but together it's a bit jumbled up, and you've got 25 players there. In fairness, you've got a great mix of youth, a great mix of experience, and you've got a couple of players between 22 and 28, likes of Edmonton, the likes of Wes Burns, those types of players. But for me, I think they're nowhere near it. I think the teams in the playoffs right now, there's going to be a few just below them.
Well, that's the only hope, that everyone is really competitive. Everyone takes points off each other, and you get the playoffs with like 68 points or something. That's the only hope for this season. That's probably not going to happen. Do you know, I've got a funny feeling Scott Fraser will go back with Russ Martin as well. I reckon they might send one or two out. Listen, boys, absolute pleasure to see you all again. I've had the text saying, "Are you finished? Are you finished?" Which we know really means,
yeah.
Sting your so great to speak to
off, guys.
All of you guys. Merry Christmas.
A pleasure having you on, Benjamin.
Yeah, no,
Thank
lovely
you very
to
much
speak to you all, and much love and
30,000 next. I'm sure you'll get there pretty quickly.
Merry Christmas,
right, 2040. Yeah. Right, take care, boys.
See ya.
And Cosvlogs has gone as well, so that's great. He has to get off, so so we're down to 6. We've got a few more maybe bringing in at 9 o'clock. We've got Costa Chell actually has just been saying there was this Mick McCarthy.
He won't go near South Yorkshire. I told you this every time. He does not go near South Yorkshire. He's had a row with his family that live in Barnsley. Every time he gets linked with South Yorkshire club, it doesn't happen. He's not going to South Yorkshire.
Right, so that's you told there, Costa.
I think some of them actually want Adkins in, which
they do.
Bizarre to me.
He's local. He's local to Donny. I think he's local.
To be fair, he is, but it's just after him with us, I just think he's done now. He's done. But
to be fair, when me and Dapper talk about it, we're always like, who's gonna take that job? Because whoever goes for it can be interesting how they do it, because Johnny need a massive rebuild and a kick up the backside to work out what they're gonna do. Because they're working on this new model of this is how we're gonna run it. They've got a new stadium. It's not the Keep Mode anymore. It's the Eco Power Stadium or whatever. And they've got a situation where it could be interesting to see what they do going forward. But is that going to be in League One or League Two?
Exactly. It's just weird to me because they've got good players in their squad. It's just everything like in the club from the top to the bottom is just wrong at the moment. The way it's being run, the management, the team, it's just. I do think they've got good players, but I can't see them in League Two next year. But to be honest, they deserve to be because they've been shocking this year.
I've just got a quick question there for Gogsy. It's coming from Football Prime Ginger. Thoughts on the COVID news today in Scotland? 500, I guess, is better than nothing. But for disappointment. Football again getting the brunt of it.
For those who are unaware of the situation in Scotland, we are now capped at 500 per football event, which is absolutely disastrous for our game because the main moneymaker is revenue from the gate receipts.
Sure.
Unlike in England,
even more so.
where you'd probably get more from sponsorship. Up here, it's basically pay at the gate and stuff like that. It's completely disastrous. And in fact, in Scotland, we're better off actually bringing the winter break forwards and trying to make sure that we can actually stop this spread of COVID, even though I think our government is overreacting. I think football shouldn't be getting the brunt of it because it's an outdoor activity, and the fact that indoor venues are capped at 200, outdoors 500 now, it's an absolute farce. But the thing is, I think we are going to see another minor lockdown in Scotland.
Yeah.
And
there's a worry even down here as well, isn't there? I don't know whether you think.
I mean, I'm pretty sure you can all agree with me. Boris Johnson may have been dressing this up, but this is always going to be happening.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I get that feeling as well. I think we're on sort of borrowed time at the moment with the football, aren't we? And probably what's coming in Scotland could well be coming in here. But 500, is that even for Rangers and Celtic as well?
Yeah, even for Rangers and Celtic, 500.
That doesn't make any sense, though, does it really?
It doesn't. So we've already had
Celtic hold.
Yeah, we've already had Celtic make a plea to the SFA to try and move the Old Firm, because you could get easily, I would say you could easily get 15,000-20,000 into Celtic and Rangers with spaced out crowd. But for an Old Firm, you need a full house for that.
You need a full kind of support for that, because
but like 500 in a 40,000 seat stadium doesn't make any sense.
It's a joke.
I mean, you could have 10,000 in it; it'd still be pretty well spaced out, wouldn't it?
Yeah,
I would imagine. But
absolutely. It's an absolute farce. The fact that this is going on. I think there will be more developments to come before Christmas, and then we'll probably find out. But our next 3 games are against teams from the lower half of the league, and I'm not too fussed about that. But it's going to be the games that affect us the most. Just after the winter break, we've got 6 fixtures in a row against teams in the top half, and these games are going to be hurt the most, because it's just either completely cancel fans and make it pay-per-view so that it's an even keel for everyone, because how are you going to pick a ballot of only 500 fans?
When you did your like paying during lockdown, how much was it to watch a game?
On average, for Motherwell, it's about £12 for the paying fan.
Because in England, if you were
tenner,
it was a tenner, yeah. And the way it's done, it's a 70. I think it's a 70 split. The club gets 70%, and the EFL get the rest. And this is the model, in a sense, the Super League lot wanted to do, and bypass the TV rights, so they got more money. I'm very interested to see what the accounts are going to look like for everybody club. Yeah, when we've got to put them in, because it's going to be interesting to see how much money they actually made and lost, if that makes sense.
Yeah. Just quickly, I'll just ask. Ian Barron is asking Gogsy, are you still a fan-owned club?
Yeah.
Are you still? Yeah. Okay. Yes, they are.
Yeah. This is why we are taking such a more cautious approach about it, because Motherwell being a fan-owned club, there's no big benefactor backing us. It's all coming from the fans' money. So it is a very worrying time for us yet again. And I think last time round we were very well equipped for it, but this time round I don't know. We have no idea when there's no time scale for when this is going to end. They say it's going to be for a couple of weeks, but the last time it happened, it was for a couple of months, and
almost a season, wasn't it? It was
a season, a whole season out of Fir Park, and I couldn't stand it.
No, somebody's just asked. Harry has asked thoughts on Sheffield Wednesday. So I'm going to go to you anyway, Jake. So Sheffield Wednesday, we were going to ask you, do you like to see the January window, and also just thoughts on Sheffield Wednesday in general. I would imagine. Is he talking about the owner coming back? Do you think?
I think he's just in general. If you're on about thoughts for January, anybody free because we're transfer embargoed, and can there be a centre back because all ours are injured? Because this season we pretty much had it as Callum Patterson's played as striker, a winger, a midfielder, and now centre back, and he's been superb. We basically our back line has just been depleted, and it's just a mess. We need defenders badly, and on thoughts of the entire season, it was always going to be an interesting one and see how the players gelled, see how quickly Darren Moore could get his tactics in. Because you've got to remember, when Darren Moore came in, you cannot judge him for what he did last season, because he was out ill with COVID for most of it. And then he came in to do everything. And I think it's been a slow burn to get going. And we're starting to see like we're a team that can play good football at times. Our issue has been because for the ages we were conceding anytime from the 80th minute onwards.
Yeah, late goals, weren't you? You were always late goals. Was that just down to fitness, you think, Jake? I
think it was a mental thing. I think it was the mental side of the game, because we got a sports psychologist in, and it's suddenly changed a little bit. And things seem to be we're hanging on to games now. Yeah, we're still hanging on, but we're still managing to. We just need to score more goals. But the thing is, you've got Windass, you've got Lee Gregory, who's got 8 goals. You've got Canberry, who I liked. He's looked pretty solid at Wednesday. I know he didn't do well in Scotland too well. He had an okay spell, didn't he, Gogsy?
Yeah, he was okay at Hibs, but then it went downhill.
He got really good link-up play, and it's working well. And the thing is, we got, 7 or 8 loan players, and you can't play them all at the same time. Our big concern at the minute is if we can keep our loan keeper, Bailey Peacock-Farrell, from Burnley. If we can keep him, we should be on for it. But we got a lot of players coming back from injury. But I think you're going to have a situation at Wednesday where you're going to see some players go back to the loan clubs and then we'll swap them out for someone else. We're looking at Tunnekul from West Brom. He was on loan at Donny last season, but he only played up until September because he got a serious hamstring injury. So if that's the case, he fits Sheffield Wednesday model perfectly. He's already injured. His hamstrings are knackered. Come in.
Right. I think, we're talking, just quickly go back to this COVID problem and the possible lockdown. It seems like that's a hot topic at the moment. Obviously, Scotland may be the start of it. Ian Barron's already said it will be locked down from Boxing Day. You heard it here first.
I've just seen some. It's for you, Gogs. There, all it is from Boxing Day in Scotland. If you're in a nightclub, you must stay at least 1 meter apart from everyone. So Gogs, there, you can't be going out in Scotland.
Mate, I've been self-isolated for the last week. It's been absolutely awful.
That's it.
It's so hard sitting in your bedroom watching Pornhub.
I know, mate. I know. But,
what's the population of where you live? Is it like quite a big place, Motherwell?
I'm currently in a town which is about 13,000-14,000.
Right. And you're actually having to self-isolate?
I'm self-isolating because my girlfriend's brother tested positive. But
oh God,
that's it. But I mean, it is what it is. I can't go to uni, so I'm not too depressed because I'm missing out on uni. But yeah, I will.
It is a strange time, and I think you can. I don't know. We'll be going back to watch-alongs and all that sort of stuff, won't we?
Yeah.
There's a part of us that actually thinks it'd be quite good to do a few watch-alongs because we've been on the road. Every game.
This is the thing. I was speaking to someone the other day who was saying like he loves doing the video, but he also said the watch-alongs were awesome because you got to watch it with your community and have like good conversations and stuff.
Yeah,
it was where you should forget about your team, lads, and come watch Lecture of Garden City Eagles. Don't worry about testing positive. Less than 500 people in. We're all good to go. I'm telling you.
Yeah. Will you be doing the temperature checks and all that on the gate? Do you do all that sort of
stuff? Don't worry about that.
No,
mate.
Don't ask him to do them.
So we're all about watching non-league then, are we? Is that the way forward?
That is the way forward, guys.
I quite enjoyed actually going and taking in, a few of the non-league games. It was pretty good. We did our non-league diaries during that time, and we took in a few of them. And it's I actually quite enjoy non-league. If I'm being honest, it's a bit more friendly, and everybody kind of is really happy to see you and welcome you. And we videoed there, and the managers were all up for giving us interviews and interviewing the tea lady and the ticket people, and it was just great. It was really good. I enjoyed it. So if we have to go back to doing that, we'll probably do a few of those as well.
Sounds good.
Oh, we've got Jake's just arrived. Hello, let's bring him in. Good evening, Jake. How are you? How are you?
Nice to see you all. Yeah, I'm all good.
Jake is a Lincoln fan. Probably will.
Oh no, Jake! No.
Many of you remember that Blackpool went up in the playoff finals, and we played Lincoln City, and it's not been going too well for you there, Jake. Has it? I was having a look. You're 19th in the league. Only got 22 points. You're kind of just below Nappers, who's gone. Fleetwood, 22 goals, 28 against. So you're not scoring many, and you're letting more in than you're scoring. What's happened?
we've not really replaced the players that we had last year. Obviously, the main one, Dawes sort of making the most of it at Forest. Brennan is, I mean, Dawes will tell you now. We just didn't replace the same, and you know what, that happens, doesn't it? We had a bit of a hangover. Obviously, you guys have gone on a different trajectory to what we have, but it was okay. When are we now? 10 days ago against Cheltenham, so we're getting there. Hopefully, we can beat MK on Boxing Day. But it's a difficult year. As long as we stay up, that's all that matters, really. League One next year is not so bad if you look at the last 10, 15 years of where we've been. So we're quite happy to be in League One at the moment.
Right. Well, it's just one thing. It's like sliding doors, and you got to the final, and I thought you'd be getting straight up, and it's just not worked that way as at the moment. But hopefully things turn around for you there, Jake. We don't like to see you struggling down there. To be honest, we're obviously friends with Lincoln.
Beat Charlton, though.
Yeah, he did.
only just, but it was like last minute limbs. It was brilliant.
You can thank Nigel Adkins for that one.
To be fair, how many penalties do you get so far this season? You're like penalty city.
We had more last year. We got two up at Blackpool last season, didn't we? Do you remember?
Yeah, you did. Yeah.
That's Brennan Johnson for you there.
Yeah, we don't.
Baby, Brendan Johnson. Oh,
what a mistake this was.
You're all right. So he's got to go in a bit, haven't you, Door? You said you're on your last. Yeah, is this like your last? It's like one of those cat things where you suddenly go mental for about 5 minutes and then that's it. You're off to sleep. Sort of like
I'm going off in a minute. Yeah. Off in a minute. But, yeah.
Where do you think you'll finish then, Door, this year, Forest? You're up there, aren't you? You've turned the season around. It's incredible.
I said since Cooper's come in, 1 defeat in 16, and like it's amazing. Like for my YouTube as well, it's going up, and as well. So place wise, I'll say 7th. We'll stay in 7th. I don't think we'll get playoffs.
How many subs are you on now at the moment?
5.5.
You're on more subs than you are on Derby points.
5.3.
That's good, isn't it? Because I remember you're hitting 5 was pretty good. I've had a bit of a boost as well because we're doing quite well. You know what I mean? It makes a difference, doesn't it? If your team are doing well, it sort of helps you. People want to watch your videos, but they're not.
What you loudmouth?
Well, look, I retired. It don't matter to me, mate. But I'm just surprised that you've got that many subscribers. Fucking hell, are they stupid?
Loudmouth, we're on good form. What's up, mate? What's up?
Oh, that's got to be the comment of the night.
I've missed you, but I'll be honest with you, I haven't missed the vlogging at all. I hated it.
Loudmouth, I miss them. I miss your vlogs, man. You was entertaining.
I was watching your, you're really ill and you're going video this morning actually, just to remind me, and it's a cracker, isn't it? Bloody hell, it's so good, that video. I mean, the way you do your videos, it's just so funny.
Right, people in the comments. Do you want Loudmouth to bring his YouTube clips? I miss him, man.
Why did you do
to all the 17 people watching, half of them don't even know who the fuck I am.
Loudmouth, do it as a day in the life of a football coach.
Yeah.
Oh, that's no, I can't do that because you're so involved from the word go, because it's like, even though it's a 3 o'clock kickoff, you've got to be there for like 1 o'clock. You've got to set up. You've got to hand out and fill out team sheets. You've got to get the kit ready. It is near enough an.
Can you imagine you going to the referee? Hang on a minute, mate. I've just got to film this clip. Can you just wait 5 minutes?
Yeah, I'll just get him on the vlog here, mate. 20 quid for a pen, yeah.
I'm just going to send Aaron a link for the video. He's ready to come on. So
I'm going, people. But yeah.
See you later.
I hope everyone's a piece of love. Peace and love, and
take care, Dor. Have a good.
Nice
Christmas,
to see you, Dor.
Nice to see you, man.
It's all down to Door, really. You know, all down to Door.
I'm
We
taking
actually did
credit.
this today.
So all your donations, send to me. Don't send to the
Door,
out.
just fuck off.
Yeah, if you're
You gotta
going,
try and
go.
get it grifting, Annie.
Fucking hell, some things never change, do they?
Just
Nice and quiet now, isn't it?
I'm just trying to find.
You watch. I bet you any money. He'll put a comment. Lee, let me back in. Lee, let me back in. Give it 2 minutes. That'll be his comment.
I just sent Aaron a link. Okay. No,
Hey,
it's
it's nice for him not saying let's sack the manager.
Like,
That was all he did for like.
I do like Lee. Door. I like Lee. I do miss Door.
yeah, absolutely. He's a cracker, isn't he? He's a heart of gold, and you know, he does a good vlog. He's really good. I like to watch his vlogs. I enjoy them. You know, there's a lot of emotion in it and everything. It's good. It's good to watch. In fact, all of you guys are good. You know. Right, what were we talking about? What we're going to talk about? Yes, we're going to talk about the teams that your Boxing Day fixtures. So I'll start off with Jake, actually, because you've got Burton at home. Have you Boxing Day?
Yeah,
and then you got Sunderland away on the 30th, which is
well.
Just bring Aaron in. So
I'm
good
still
evening,
not
Aaron.
sure what's going on with our because we haven't been told if we're going ahead or not because apparently we've got 12 cases of it. So I don't know what's going on at the minute.
12 cases of COVID.
Yeah.
Have you?
Wow.
Oh my god.
Yeah.
Right.
And we called off the game against Accrington Stanley on the 16th, so I'm hoping we've got enough time to get them in, but I'm not too sure.
Yeah.
But it's going to be interesting because it kind of killed a little bit of momentum we had going, and we don't do well near Christmas. We have never done well at Christmas. We always have like this weird Christmas hangover. And it's going to be interesting to see how we do, but Burton should be a good game for us. And Sunderland, if they play how they did at our place, I'll be happy. They were useless. They were absolutely crap.
I'm so.
That's the one I've seen. What's it called? The Mad Mistakes. Video. And have you watched it? Is that one where you beat them 5 something? It's an absolute. Have you watched his video where he's? Oh my god, it's so funny. Terry,
his videos were golden when Sunderland run such a bad run.
Oh my god! The one against Sheffield Wednesday though is just my god! You've got it's comedy gold. It's so
Dex, I was doing the podcast with Talking Wednesday. He was doing a live stream of it, and people saying you've got to go in and watch this Sunderland bloke. And Dex like, do I have to? Goes in and he goes, I really did. This is really entertaining. Nothing's going on in the game. I have to watch his game.
He loses it, doesn't he? And I like the way he kind of pauses and just like thinks for ages. You're kind of waiting for him to suddenly burst out with some like expletive, aren't you?
The worse they played, it looked like the more alcohol he just gave himself. Because every time it was you can and you can.
Yeah,
it's like me. It's like me on the boat last year.
The Mad Mistake he's called. He's incredible, isn't he?
Very funny.
In fact, you have a few rants, don't you, Tyler? On the quiet, you kind of lose it a bit, don't you?
I did under Bowyer, and then under Adkins when it just got too much. I'm just like, what's the point? I just went off, and now like it's good now under Jackson. But yeah, when I want to, I can go.
Yeah,
off.
you can have a good old rant. We've just got Aaron in. Good evening, Aaron. He's Doncaster Rovers, so he's probably really. You've been ranting quite a few. I've seen some of your videos as well, where you've had enough by about 20 minutes in or something to the game, and you don't know what to say.
I've had a Mansfield fan put on TikTok about Donny fans. I've had people behind me laughing at me because I'm that passionate about the club. I've had chants around the stadium singing my name. I've had Aaron give us a song at the back of the stand.
Oh no.
We're just trying to find. I've even had to do the drum at halftime for a bit just to drum up some kind of atmosphere.
Wow.
I've had a very
man for all seasons, aren't you? Then
this is just half a season, by the way. This is just 6 months, so
I'm
not looking forward to going back to watch-alongs in a way. I kind of miss doing the drums at halftime for a bit.
Right. What?
Just buy a bongo and do it in your room. You'll be fine.
If anybody can remember, going back to the show last year where Aaron was, Doncaster-
I remember this. Frank
Doncaster were
Lampard
going up,
come
if I remember
in.
rightly. Who were we getting in as a manager? I can't
We're
remember.
gonna win the league.
It was Frank Lampard. It was Thierry Henry was linked to little old Doncaster. They probably don't even know where it is. They've probably driven through it and gone, well, that was nice.
See, you know what? I think me 12 months ago was just optimistic with no sense. Now I'm optimistic but with more sense.
Are you sure?
Oh yeah. I'm definitely sure. After all the candidates I've seen, I'm definitely sure.
Ryan is saying something to Jake here. Congratulations on the MasterChef Professionals run, Jake Tong. If you know, you know. What does that actually mean? You have to explain that to me. But...
I'll take that.
I'm not in on that joke, folks.
Mate, I'm well out of this.
I don't know either. So, do you want to explain that to us? Is there somebody on MasterChef that looks like Jake, or is that?
Go on, Aaron.
What?
I don't even watch TV. I ain't got a clue.
I'd love to know who that's directed to because I do not look like Jake Tong. In fact, no, hang on. Let me see a picture of him.
You know,
It's directed to Jake.
It's directed to Jake. Daisy West podcast.
Oh,
Jake is in the stream. He's right next to you, Jake Tong.
Jake Tong is next to you. The person you're talking to is Jake Tong. That way. Yeah, that way. Well done.
Liam Barnett says,
Aaron,
close the
Jake.
door behind you. I'll get my coat. Very, very, very good.
What's in the water in Doncaster? Honestly, they're all thick as anything, aren't they?
Oh,
Have you had a couple of sherbets before coming on here, mate?
Oh god! You know, I'm not very well, so I'm trying to be as energetic as I can.
Ollie Grice Pardy is saying our game is off against Bolton. Is that due to COVID? Is that who's playing Bolton on Boxing Day? Anybody know? Ollie, let us know who it is, who your team is. But it must be off. It's one off. Ian Barron watches the Mad Mistake now and again. He is honestly, he's worth watching.
Morecambe.
He really is. Morecambe.
Yeah.
No, I thought they were playing Burton.
No, we're playing Burton. Bolton Wandered Boxing Day clash with Morecambe postponed due to COVID.
Oh wow.
Keegan Parker is here, ex-Blackpool player. Hello, Keegan. Saying Blackpool need to spend some. Keegan Parker. Says we need to spend some cash. Yeah, we do need to spend some in the January transfer window. I agree. We could really do with doing. Yeah, it's Morecambe, says Ollis Grice here, confirmed. So is that due to Morecambe COVID or Bolton COVID?
Good question.
I don't think there's much chance of that, Keegan. I don't think they're going to give him a few million to spend. I don't think we've ever spent a few million Blackpool. I'd be very surprised if they spent that kind of money. There'll be loans and stuff like that we normally get. The odd, we don't spend that. We don't spend millions.
It's cases in the Bolton Wanderers squad.
Yeah, I've just seen it on Bolton's website.
Bolton COVID, right? Okay. I was going to ask. Yeah, weird with you, Matt, there at Barnet, because you've got Boreham Wood on Boxing Day. You've got one on the 2nd of January as well. You've got like home and away to. Is that a local side, Boreham Wood to Barnet?
Well, it's not a million miles away, and I think we've already played them about 4 million times this season already. We've had them in the trophy, we've had them in the league. It's just, and we just can't turn up against them. We just, no matter what it is, we cannot beat them for love nor money. Like I said, I haven't really been paying much attention regarding performances because I ain't there to witness it. But looking at results, the last game was another loss to them, and again, it's like. Local, they try to keep you local, especially lower down you are, because obviously everyone's got no money around Christmas and they don't want you traveling here, there, and everywhere. So, yeah, normally local ones is what you get. I don't know. We might be able to finish top to the top half at least, but we'll wait and see what happens.
Yeah.
I'm quite interested in seeing how long it's going to take Barnet to get back into the Football League, because there was a time when Barnet were challenging at the top of League Two at one point, but after a few consecutive years of surviving in the league, it's just all, I don't know what's happened to Barnet. Is it something up above? Is it just one of those things? Is it just that time for Barnet, or
it's just poor appointments of managers where someone can come in and they can talk a good game, but actions speak louder than words. And if you, even as an ex-pro, can't bring in certain players, you're literally just scraping to get. And a lot of players come to Barnet when there's no other offers on the table and you've still got your mortgage to pay. So that's why we always do our business really late. And it's the same song and dance. And I kept, like you guys will remember, I kept saying we are a Sunday side. Could we go for a new transition every single season?
Yeah.
And it is disheartening knowing that that's my club and I've got to go through this every time. But you're right, there was a time where we was I don't think we was challenging in League Two. We was definitely up there where Martin Allen was our manager before he left to go to Eastleigh. And then it just went to shit after that, and it pretty much has
I remember the days when you had Edgar Davids.
Yeah, they again that was more of a how do I go by this? That was more of a stunt more than anything, you know. Like, let's be honest, like Jake's gone there. Yeah, you lot was putting out names of Thierry Henry, etc., as if they're ever going to go there, sort of thing. Well, who thought that Edgar Davids would rock up at Barnet?
True.
Yeah.
You know, and that's the thing. And because it was a player manager, it's like a long time ago when we had Tony Cottee as a player, he wasn't really interested in being the manager, but a player manager, yes. That's how we managed to get him, and it never went. You know, player managers don't work anyway. Never have done. So it's just been shit. But we do have a decent manager. Well, he's technically not even the manager. We ain't even got a manager right now. It's like the director or head of football or something who's in charge. And so he's done well with Wildstone. He's doing all right with us at the moment. Time will tell. But I can't see us getting out of this league anytime soon with the amount of teams that is down there now. It is so difficult to get out of this league.
It is hard, isn't it, to get out of non-league. Just had a quick for any Blackpool fans watching.
Be safe and see you all in the new year.
See you later, Jake. Thanks for coming.
Have
a great Christmas. Thank you.
See you later.
For any Blackpool fans, Michael Stewart Haig has just posted. Hopefully, Brannigan in from Oxford, a midfield general. Ellis Sims from Everton. Still not too sure because he's actually started for Everton, so I'm not too sure about that one. I'm really not. And the centre back from Liverpool from Michael Stewart Haig.
Philip, maybe.
Maybe. Ian Barron says he can remember Darlington versus Barnet games. Remember you? Well, we can remember Darlington because we went to Darlington. You smashed us 7-0 or something, I think, the opening game of the season. Then we actually got promoted that season, which was really weird.
Yeah, that was Tony Cottee's first game in charge as well. And we got relegated.
Yeah, you got relegated and we got
mad,
promoted.
isn't it?
Absolutely mentally. 7-0 defeat in the opening game it's kind of like all in like Blackpool sort of like folklore, that game. You know, it's something that they never...
I mean, even Barnet down there in non-league though is still putting in better fight than we are this season. I can say that for a fact.
I don't know I just can't get over Doncaster. I just can't get over it.
We've absolutely fallen like a stone over these over a 12-month period. We've fallen like a stone, and it's just I can't put my finger on one reason. It's got to be multiple reasons, and for the first time, I think it was the Mansfield game, we went 3-1 down the FA Cup. For the first time in person rather than on social media, I heard behind me Gavin Baldwin get out of our club. And that hurt me because I've spoken to the CEO before and he's a nice guy. And I don't want him to fail. But over the last 8 years, one playoff campaign in 8 years compared to Championship football and high-end League One football under the previous ownership, the football side of things is not good enough. The way we're run financially as a business is great. We're kept afloat. We're making more money. We're clearing all the debts. Brilliant. But on the football side, something needs to change. We're bringing in a new manager or head coach. We're bringing in a new director of football type role. Hopefully, that's the major change we need to this football structure. If we still go down to League Two and get worse under a new structure, maybe it is time for a new owner. And it hurts me to say this. I'm not one of these keyboard warriors on social media that's going to go, Gavin Baldwin, Sharps at Neto. I'm not going to chant that at all. I respect the board. They've done a lot for this club. They've done a lot for the town. They've done a lot for Doncaster and the community. But as a football club, if we want to get results on the field and this football structure still isn't working and the decisions aren't being made right, then maybe something needs to change up top. Maybe the club needs a new direction at the chairman's helm. Maybe we need someone new in charge.
It all just seem to go wrong from when you obviously lost your manager to Sheffield Wednesday. Everything was looking really good then, wasn't it? And it's gone to pieces since then.
The form started from that point, and we're bringing in players that are either injury prone, getting used to men's football for the first time, or are just not good enough. And injuries have been a major part of this season as well. We've been so unlucky with injuries. Even under Darren Moore, we've been unlucky with injuries.
Yeah.
You know, Okunabiri, that was only supposed to be a little setback under Darren Moore and Andy Butler, and now it's kept getting delayed, and now Okunabiri is going to only play the last 10 games of the season. And this is where I can't blame the manager on this one. You have to blame the medical staff and the personnel at the club on that one. Someone, somewhere with Okunabiri went drastically wrong. Somewhere misdiagnosed something or made a mistake. Something went wrong with that. In terms of what Ian's just said there, bringing back Coppinger, I don't want to do that, because if you bring him back as a manager or a head coach, again, it's just like Wellings. It's just going to tarnish his legacy. And I spoke to to be fair, and, you know, since we last did a Football Bloggers podcast, I've got a job. I've been in a job for the last 4 months.
Have you? What are you doing now?
I'm working part-time at like KFC at Lakeside, around the corner from the Keepmoat Stadium. So I'm right around the corner from where I watch the games now. So that's amazing.
Do you do discounts?
That man wants a bucket.
But no, right before I started work, I got a call from Richie saying thanks for all your support. And it hurt me to hear from Richie after he'd just been sacked the week or two before, because I thought he was the man to do it. I thought he was the former player that was going to bring us back to glory. But something somewhere just didn't work. And it just hasn't felt right, and the results haven't been good enough.
No. What's this random boss? A serious question though, Aaron. Take the fact he's a nice guy out of it. Is he good business for your club? What's he referring to? Do you know what that means?
Yeah. I think he's trying to ask, take the nice guy aspect out of it.
Yeah.
Is he a good businessman for the club? Is he a good person to run the football club or to be a part of the football club? It's one of those catch-22 situations where on the one hand, there's no one really around the corner that's going to buy us. There was rumored talk about Michael Murray. There was talk about Michael Murray, the future son-in-law to Mike Ashley, coming in and putting 100 million in, but those talks have gone quiet as far as...
You wouldn't want him, though, surely, would you? Jesus Christ. We've been looking at really Newcastle for years, or, they hated him.
Oh, no. Mike Ashley's having nothing to do with it. Mike Ashley's having nothing to do with it. If Michael Murray was coming in, it'd be just him.
Yeah, anybody got him, wouldn't it?
It would have been Michael Murray and a consortium of his choosing. Mike Ashley would have had nothing to do with it, so I'm told.
Dan's in the chat, actually. 18 Dapper, he said, we need someone. This is Doncaster. Obviously, Dapper is Doncaster as well. He said, we need someone willing to buy a floundering team and not just a football team. It's Club Doncaster. Ain't gonna happen.
That's what I mean. That's why it's hard to buy. That's why I've said for months it's hard to buy Doncaster Rovers, because we are part of a network called Club Doncaster, which the Doncaster Rovers Bells, which is one of the most historic women's football teams, 6 FA Cups. We've been in the Premiership with that team before, and then when money came into the women's game, we went tumbling down the leagues, and we were the fall girls for it. So, that's why the Bells need a bit of a reboot, and we're doing it right now. The Dons in rugby are, a couple of steps away from the Super League, so they're in a good place. But Rovers aren't in a good place, and the owners of the club are rugby people. I think it's well documented that the owners are they like the rugby. The rugby fans. So it's well documented with that. So people will use that as a factor, as like, oh, they're only interested in rugby, they're not interested in Rovers. If that's the case, and this is just advice for me, if they want to invest in the rugby side of things, then for me, go for it, but maybe keep the Rovers side out of it and have someone invest in the Rovers team and the Bells team. But that's just, I think if someone's going to buy it, that's going to buy the whole of Club Doncaster. So yeah, I think someone has to buy the whole Club Doncaster if someone's going to buy us, which is very, very unlikely. He's a nice guy, Gavin,
let's hope they do. So Ian Barron's just posting that Mike Ashley was rumoured to be interested in Derby County. Now, we played Derby County a couple of weeks ago, and I've got to say, it was kind of sad, seeing what was going on there.
Yeah.
As if Derby has suffered enough.
Have you ever been? It's the first time I've ever been to Pride Park, and it's like it's a beautiful ground. I don't think it was as nice as Swansea. Swansea is designed in such a way that it's just so spacious.
Yeah.
There's massive concourse you can walk around in. The steps up going up are really wide, like massively wide. So like hundreds can just walk up the stairs, and Pride Park was all a bit tight. You could only get ones or twos up the stairs, and I thought, God, if there's like a fire thing here, you wouldn't get out easy, because it's honestly it's really tight to get out. For the size of the ground, but the ground is magnificent. You know what I mean? And all round it's magnificent, and you just look at it and you think, it's Premier League all day long, and you can't believe that what a mess they're in. But who's going to take them on?
And this is the thing with Wayne Rooney. It's just like, is he going to stay there? Is he going to go manage Everton if Rafa gets sacked? What's going to happen to Wayne Rooney? Is he going to stay there long term? Does he know a takeover is going to happen?
I don't think he is going to stay.
And again, this is another situation that calls into question the Football League and how they monitor the leagues and how they monitor football clubs.
Yeah, well, we all kind of know that's bad.
Yeah, we all know.
Well,
Derby County, Oldham Athletic, Scunthorpe United. It's another situation.
Tyler can tell you, can't you, from Charlton Athletic? Tell us about the stories of bloody Charlton Athletic. Crikey, they've been through the hell and back.
It's been going on. It's been going on, and it's still going on now with more clubs.
Yeah.
What happened at Charlton? Because you had you nearly went, didn't you, to the wall until this guy came in?
Yeah, what didn't happen at Charlton? We had obviously the Belgian run, and the Châtelet got stuck in League One. Finally went up. It was the period under him, because he sold us in November to these like supposedly multi-billionaire Abu Dhabi consortium. But the thing that towards the Châtelet, the end of his reign, he wasn't really involved. He was trying to sell the club, but he wasn't really involved. But in not being involved, he didn't really do a lot wrong. Like, we was in a good position until we sold, and then the Abu Dhabi lot turned out to be absolute crooks. We got relegated that season, and now we've got Thomas Sandgaard in, who will forever be thankful for him saving the club. But he actually come out and said that he bought us when we were 2 or 3 days away from administration, so we were very close to going on.
You were. I know you were really close, but how did he let some? This is what I don't get with this football league. The EFL. How did he let these guys come in from Abu Dhabi who were con men? Do you know what I mean? It's like it's hard enough.
That's the thing, because the EFL
surely
never
they'd have to pass some sort of test, wouldn't they, from Abu Dhabi and not.
Talos just said it. The EFL never approved that takeover, and look what's going on now with Derby, with Oldham. Scunthorpe's got, in my opinion, poor ownership. There's plenty of other clubs that are still under questionable ownership. Clubs in the Premier League, again, under questionable ownership. It's just, the thing is, I think the time has come now for an independent regulator. As if it didn't need to before then. We need an independent regulator. We need a rewritten fit and proper persons test, and we need actual football people that love the sport rather than the money, and the good businessmen rather than football people.
Well, there's been a fan-led thing, hasn't there? I was briefly did a video on it, because I videoed at the Armfield Club. They had the annual general meeting, and Clark Carlisle spoke at at this meeting. It's quite a good video. Actually, tells you all about the fan-led review, which is hopefully should start to see some of this. These practices got rid of, really, because it is damaging to football. And at the end of the day, it's, we all know it's the fans that suffer at the, nobody wants to see. I don't want to. I mean, Dore probably does want to see, Derby fans to suffer, but But you don't really, do you? You know, you don't.
I wouldn't
really
wish it on my worst
want to
enemy.
see
I
them.
wouldn't wish. I hate Millwall and Palace. I wouldn't wish it on them. What Derby again?
No. And again, you look at what's happening at the top end of the game with this whole European Super League business. They wanting more money, and we're suffering. Jesus Christ! If anyone deserves a Super League, it's the lower leagues. The lower league.
I know. Well, if you look at the FA Cup, you know, because we've, you know, keep in touch with quite a few non-league clubs, and they've. For the FA Cup, they've cut the money that they're giving to, you know, for each round for the, you know, for the non-league. And honestly, you know, the FA Cup, you know, if you don't follow non-league, but there's so many rounds the non-leagues have got to get through to just actually get into the qualifying rounds to get into the FA Cup. And it's massive. It's honestly, the FA Cup is so important to the lower league. And most of like the Premier League, they're not even interested in it, are they? You know, they couldn't care less about the bloody FA Cup, could they? You know, they put out kids and all this, but so why don't the non-league get more money? Why have they cut it? Why have they not doubled the money for them? Because that's where, you know, kids are found, and the non-league is really important to this.
I think the way they think is non-leagues further down the pyramids, let's give them less money, when actually they should be thinking
should be getting more.
Non-leagues further down the pyramid, let's give them more money so they can keep up with the game. And I said before on this podcast, money's the root of all evil, but if we can't get rid of money in the football game, we've got to let the lower leagues modernize with money. Give it to them.
There's so many opportunities, isn't there, with academies and for all these little clubs that can. It all everything supports the.
One of the people behind the Super League was actually quoted to have said, I think it was someone that was to do with the Super League, actually said, if in the Super League, we can just play weaker teams in the Premier League if they're going to allow both competitions to continue at the same time. That's disgusting.
I'll ask Loudmouth, because what do you think about the Super League? There was part of me kind of just said, yeah, just go. Just all go. I wish you'd all just go and leave the bloody league.
Give us a chance to be in the Premier League.
What do you think, Matt, on that one?
I think at the time we all bantered it and said, yeah, go on. As you say, just do one, off you go, sort of thing. But at the same time, I just do think it would have killed the whole actual game that most clubs have been brought up with. So as much as you say, oh, give us a chance, sort of thing, football's a funny game. It can change in any way whatsoever. There's a guy, I don't know his name, but there's a guy who's just literally bought a team called Bedford in the same standard as what I'm in, who owns or is a multi-millionaire for Bitcoin. He's already mastered a plan, reckon that he's going to be in the Premiership in 7-8 years.
Oh, yeah.
So
I wish I'd have bought Bitcoin.
Because they was just tweeting now actually. The team is called, and they're in the same league as me. Yeah, Bedford FC.
I've just seen it.
Bedford FC, because the manager and assistant manager just literally quit right now because obviously they're saying their job's come untenable. And that's what's going on there. So where you had the big boys buying the big Premiership clubs and trying to, pick all the best players and win everything, now they are literally playing Football Manager real life. They're going right lower down and they're starting to build all the way up.
Well, it's maybe a good thing,
you're not going to get away from it. No matter what end of the scale you're at, you ain't getting out of it.
I mean, I was going to say, how long is it now before the next clubs get bought for a load of money? Like, who's next to be the next sort of rags to riches story?
Lincoln City, maybe, Jake. We'll bring Jake into the conversation. We'll try and get you in there. We need you to say something. So, what do you reckon is going to happen at Lincoln? There was rumours of an owner there, wasn't there?
Well, we've just had an American takeover, actually.
Oh, you had an American takeover? Yeah, you have.
Yeah, so our owner's from South Africa, Clive May, who's a big Evertonian. I've actually just listened in before I came on here. The guys who do this Days First podcast had the owner and the new American investor on a podcast. So I've just sat in with the chairman and the new investors and the chief exec on a pod, which was really interesting, seeing how much, and also Landon Donovan was in there as well, which was
So what did you learn from this podcast?
The fact that they're putting a shit ton of money in, essentially, they're ploughing the money into Lincoln, and I it's sort of a bit surreal based off what you know, how Lincoln have been run over the last couple.
In what way? In players, or are they going to improve the stadium?
Well, in terms of the facility, they're looking for a new ground. They're looking for looking to make a partnership with the San Diego Padres. They're a baseball team or something like that out there.
What's the ambition in terms of leagues? Like what?
I think Atherton's been quite clear in saying he wants to get to the championship. Obviously, we had the perfect opportunity until Leeds Blackpool came along and
sorry about
took it.
Sorry about that, Jake.
No,
I do apologise.
We said on the daily, didn't we? We said that you deserved it completely. We played nothing like ourselves.
You just don't want to come up against Blackpool in playoffs. That's the thing. No, we're just good at it. It's what we do.
I still think the aim is for us to get into the championship in the next maybe 3 seasons. Trying to sort of, become a Rotherham essentially. Bounce between League One, and, which would be perfect for us, given the fact that Barnet practically almost bloody relegated. Well, they did relegate us. They scored they beat Port Vale. I remember 10-11. It was McLeod. Matt will probably tell me a bit more. Is he McLeod or something like that? They played up the Barnet centre forward.
Do you remember that? Loudmouth?
Yeah.
Relegating Lincoln.
It was a lad called McLeod, played up front. Big lad.
Long time ago.
I think it was a season or two before Barnet left Underhill. I think it was.
It was.
So you're looking about 2011, 2012.
Yeah, 10-11.
Because we left Underhill in 2013.
Yeah.
Mm.
That was our last season before we moved to where we are now.
It was a big scrap between us and Barnet, who were going to stay in League Two, and Barnet unfortunately pipped us to it. But watching them struggle now down and playing Boreham Wood every 4 weeks is a bit like retribution, I suppose. But,
you cursed them.
I know exactly how he feels. Playing a really tricky team on Boxing Day and New Year's Day.
You've got Milton Keynes Dons on Boxing Day, haven't you?
And then we're not going to win a game. We're not going to win a game.
You've got Rotherham away, haven't you? On Rotherham on the 29th.
I've said for months Rotherham's going to walk away with that title at this round.
We're in a bit of bother because MK obviously under the new manager look very good, and then Rotherham. How on earth we stayed with Rotherham? We drew 1-1 with them earlier in the season. How on earth we managed to stay with them? And
how did we? We drew 1-1.
Yeah.
Who do you guys reckon are going to go up then from League One? Who would you reckon?
Not us this time.
I think we've established that, Aaron.
I'm not going to predict
even you can't spin that one. So
I'm not deluded this time.
I think Oxford might have a chance. I think Oxford are going to win the playoffs. So I think it'll be Rotherham and Wigan up automatically.
No Sunderland then in there? You don't reckon?
No. Day after Boxing Day, I'm worried for Sunderland. I really am.
Oh, yeah?
Yeah. If that don't get called off, that's in front of Sky Sports with the new manager, with the new stadium name against Sunderland. I'm very nervous.
That's if Donny can field a team, because they called Saturday off because they couldn't field a team to play against. And do you know what? I'm kind of glad because we played them 3 weeks ago, and honestly, I was sat in that away and nearly half asleep. It was horrendous.
It was a boring 0-0 draw.
It was the apart from the fact that we have a lad on loan from Southampton called Dan Lundaloo, and he was in about 3 times, and I'm not kidding you, Lee. It would have been harder. It would have been harder to miss how much he missed by. He nearly hit the press box.
Yeah.
Simple tapping, was it?
Like, we barely made any chances. Lincoln could barely make any chances on their own.
We had a couple, and then our keeper made a good save. But
yeah,
God, it was
the problem was I had my ticket all bought, ready to go to Sinsel Bank for the first time in well over a decade or so. And it was all called off. It was ridiculous. I'm hoping
that's your fault. That's your fault. You got 2 stars.
19 quid.
The game against Charlton, as Tyler probably will tell you, it was far more interesting. The game against Charlton. In terms of entertainment, I thought it was quite good. I don't know if you were there, Tyler.
No, very glad I wasn't.
I'm glad I was.
That's all right. We had a bad game against Lincoln, but we had a field day against Doncaster. I've never seen us completely demolish a team that we did against Doncaster.
And the weird thing is, we played well against you at the Valley last season. It's just this season we've
you did.
Well, Lee sat there in the corner thinking, "Thank God we got out of League One."
I know it's hard to
my
get to
God,
be
thank
honest.
Christ for that.
It is quite hard to get out of it as well. You know, you are lucky if you get out, and you know, Blackpool fans.
I'm worried about League Two.
The last time we dropped out of the the Championship, the Division 2 as it was back then, it was 30 years before we got back in the Championship. So for us to get back from a double relegation down to the bottom and actually get a promotion while nobody was going, which was quite amazing how they got promoted that season, and then really for Sadler to come in and do it in 2 years, taking into account COVID.
Says a lot about how good the ownership
It's been quite amazing. He has been just, and he's doing all those things that needed doing because he's a Blackpool fan, and those things irritated him. The stadium irritated him as much as it irritated us. The sound system, they haven't done it yet, but it needs, it needs doing. I mean, I went to Derby. I don't know if you noticed, but at Pride Park, their sound system on the roof going round, it's all line arrays. So I don't know if you know what a line array is. It's like, it's like six speakers in a sort, like they have at concerts where you got like two tweeters, two mid-range, two bass, but proper concert style. And they'd be about, those line arrays would probably be about 20,000 each. And they had, I don't know, they must have had 30 or 40 of them, going around. It sounded unbelievable. If Blue Take That came in, they wouldn't even need to bring a PA in. They could just use Derby County's PA. It's just bloody unbelievable. I'm like, this is, honestly, I mean, I moan about, Blackpool's PA because you can't hear it, but, we've heard some good ones. Bournemouth is really good, really clear, but Derby's is like, it's better than Wembley. Even Wembley hasn't got line arrays up on the roof.
I can't remember the last time we changed our speakers. I think you were sat in the away end, Jake. The speakers, I think, are just one speaker attached to every side of the stage.
Are they? We have those little sort of, like a megaphone type of thing.
Yeah, I think
we just got them.
The
bloody awful, honestly, and half of them don't work. You can't tell what anybody's saying. It's just so bad. So that he's doing, but there's loads of things that he's managed to, to change, and he's changing the mentality of the club, and he's brought people in like Ben Mansford who are experienced, and the scouting network's improved, and I don't know, it's just all very good at Blackpool at the moment. So we're quite.
You were speaking about getting back to the Championship in 30 years.
Yeah,
I'm worried we're going to do a Chesterfield and do back-to-back relegations to the conference at this rate. Picks up our ideas.
Well, you definitely need to
book up as you go down.
We're coming up against Barnet in 3 years. Jesus Christ!
Well, it's strange how you sort of. Like I say,
that away end's
last
really nice,
season.
Howard. You need to make sure you treasure that. It's a lovely away end at Barnet. They only opened 2 gates for the entire away end as well.
Somebody's mentioned that Barnet's not in Barnet. The new stadium's not in Barnet. Is that
no? We're in Edgware now.
Yeah, in Edgware.
Yeah,
it's only 6 miles away from where we was, but again, that's what the old point was, because when we was looking to move, our chairman made a big song and dance. We won't move out of Barnet. We'll stay where we are, because we originally got offered MK Dons' ground. And he was contemplating it, the chairman, but there would have been uproar. So obviously that never came about. And the ground that we're at now, the Hive, was originally meant to be for Wildstone. They ran out of money, or the old chairman done a dodgy one. And then you could either say we nicked it, we paid off, or bought whatever was remaining, and then built up the rest of all of it around it.
Right.
What's left of Underhill?
I think we will
it's
survive
a school
the
now.
Championship, Ryan. That's that question.
Yeah, they've knocked there. They've knocked our old ground down and turned it into a school. So all the residential there that was moaning about, they didn't like all the fans going there twice a week or whatever it is. Now you've got a fucking school. You enjoy that.
Ryan Dunmore saying, "Where's the violins for our Aaron?" I mean, honestly, last season you'd have thought. I mean, basically Doncaster were promoted according to you, where it was who was going to come second to Don.
We were 1 point.
Look at you now with Omar Bogle up front.
12 months ago.
You said something about him, didn't you, Tyler? About Omar Bogle. You don't like him, do you?
Horrible.
He set up our goal against Shrewsbury, though. So since he's come back into the scene, since Wellens has gone, he's actually been involved, even though he's tripped over his feet twice.
Wellens phased him out, didn't he?
Wellens frees Tim and Ed Williams out, but since he's come back in, he's tripped over his own feet twice and set up the goal as part of a goal we conceded at one point as well. So
that's how we scored. That's how we scored one of the 2 goals he scored for us. He went round the keeper, stacked it, and as he stacked it, he's flicked the ball into.
But no, it's like
it was a fluke goal, was it?
Yeah.
But no, this season we are I think we're the 6th lowest scorers in English football. We are like in the top 5 or 6 conceded in League One at the moment. We are second from bottom because Crewe are doing just as bad. In fact, we were bottom at one point if it wasn't for us beating Shrewsbury before the Lincoln game got
you were bottom,
and this is why I felt sorry for Wellens, because I thought he was going to turn it around, but the results just didn't come, and then he gets sacked after a useless Papa John's Trophy defeat to bottom of the league. It's just it was a weird time to sack him, and then talks about Gary McSheffrey gaining it permanently. I like Gary McSheffrey; he's got passion, and Frank Sinclair's got passion as the assistant. It's just a big job too soon. We need someone with experience, and when you see the names we're being linked with, Paul Simpson, Paul Clement, Mick McCarthy, Neil Lennon, Nigel Atkins. Like when you see those names getting linked, we might be giving it to Gary. We've seen Paul Trollope's been linked. Paul Trollope. Like, I don't know.
Ryan's just asking you a question here. He says, Aaron will get this. He says, what comes first, Doncaster in the Championship or Flamingo Land's new coaster?
I think Flamingo Land's new coaster, because it's only a year away and we're about 10 years away.
What are they getting at Flamingo Land? What is it?
Oh, it's a 10 looper. It's about to come for about 2 years and it's still delaying it.
Wow. I know Aaron's channel is Coaster Chal, because you're into roller coasters, aren't you? So, I tell you what, they've got at Blackpool, they put this temporary sort of thing up in front of the tower where it's like one of those things that spin round, but it goes up about 200 feet in the air. And there's not a chance. I'll tell you what, you could give me, I don't know. I think if somebody offered me 10 grand, I'd even. I'm not sure if I could do it. I just honestly, it just looks horrific. It looks absolutely horrific. I've watched a few videos of people being on it, and it just looks terrifying. Honestly, heights, and I just don't see the point of that. If I'm being honest, I like a roller coaster, but spinning around on a little like wires with your feet dangling 200 foot up in the air is not for me. Would you go on that? Would that be your sort of thing, that Aaron? Would you like that? Would you enjoy that?
Of course it would.
You'd be on it. You'd be on it, would you?
I love the thrill seekers, me. But no, since we did the last FVP, I've been doing a lot of things, a lot of projects. In fact, a few weeks ago, I was filming on a pitch next to a mini mansion in Boucher in the middle of nowhere for another channel. So, so that was pretty nice. And
you were filming on a pitch where?
This undercover 4G pitch in the middle of nowhere next to a mansion in Boucher. So,
And what was you filming?
It was a video for a channel called Early Kickoff.
It's cool.
You're not giving much away here, mate. Are you sure you're either you've done something really dodgy or you're fake taxi?
No, the video's on the Early Kickoff channel. It's been up since like Thursday last week.
Fake tax. What's this? Ryan done about 15 grand on the way. What's he going on about?
I also sent an email to Franz Beckenbauer's office for an interview in the new year, so we'll see what happens with that.
Franz Beckenbauer. We could have him come with. That'd be good. Franz Beckenbauer on your channel. We will look forward to that one.
Oh my god! Right, guys, I've got to read off now. But cheers.
Yeah, we're going to get off soon. It's 10 minutes to the 2-hour mark. So I don't know if there's any last business anybody wants to talk about. Or you can all have a great Christmas. It's been great having everybody here. We haven't done one of these for a while. I was going to ask for 200 likes, but I don't think it's too late now. See if we could bring back the FVP on the regular basis. But I do. There's a part of me kind of fancies Sunday nights as a thing. I don't know if anybody. fancies that, and it's just in my mind at the moment.
Versus Door, honestly, Matt versus Door. Put it on. I'll pay a tenner to watch it every week. It will be so funny.
It was
no
quality,
one's safe
wasn't it?
with me, so it just
Yeah.
bring them all on, really.
I don't think I'm safe. If I don't speak sense, I don't think I'm safe from anyone.
Well, I'm just glad Aaron's here because last time I was the bearer of it. I remember I was in big bother with Loudmouth. I had no idea what I'd done, but I'm glad Aaron's here now. So this is
the first time on, and he's going, "Who's this fucking geezer having a pop at me all of a sudden?" Sorry, mate.
I just for me personally, I just deep down, I just don't see us being a League Two club, but I could end up seeing it. I don't know why. I don't know how I feel it, but
I think you're gonna be, to be honest.
I'm sure lots of the viewers will be happy that you're now behind your green screen, everything, rather than lying on a bed. I think that's an improvement.
Yeah. I mean, John Ryan.
Come a long way. Come a long way.
Now we're facing 2 and 5 years. It's like, I don't know.
Hang on, Aaron. So have you gone out and spent loads of money on new equipment?
I have indeed.
Oh, did Lee give you any tips or anything?
I gave you all them tips, then you packed it in. I got you all brilliant. It sounds wonderful tonight. You sounded perfect. You know what I mean? There's absolutely nothing wrong with it. I don't know what.
No crickling, crackling, nothing like that.
There's no crickling, no crackling. There's been absolutely nothing, Loudmouth. It's perfection. It sounds clear as a bell. It sounds beautiful. You're advised well. So it was never you.
It was never me.
It was never.
You wasn't even in the fucking first round of us.
There was somebody had some audio on though, because somebody had some sound on because I was. I could hear the show, and I don't know who it was. I did mention it to turn your laptop down.
We'll blame him.
Probably Door. Yes.
Blame Door.
But it certainly when it's not here now, is it? We're not getting any sort of we're not hearing ourselves on some others, because that's all it is. You've got to have your headphones in and turn your PC off or whatever to get it clear and everything. So. Yeah. But it's been perfect tonight. It's been a great night. It's been great to catch up with everybody. And you'll just have to let me know in fact, I'll invite Jake and Aaron into the FVP because you're in it, aren't you, Tally? You're in the group, in the WhatsApp group. Invite you in, and then tell me if you want to do. I don't know. Ian Barron says, "How about a monthly FVP on the first Monday night of the month?"
Well, that'd be good.
That's an idea.
Could do something like that, or there's something.
I've got Mondays off work, so that would work for me.
Don't you have most weeks off work because you're part time?
You are.
I reckon that's a good time to leave it, Lee, don't you?
Well, yes, we'll have a chat we'll have a chat in the group chat and decide if you want to do a monthly show. I'm quite happy to do that.
I'm just never going to be invited back ever again, am I? No matter what I do.
No, you easy are.
You're always invited, Loudmouth.
I mean, you guys are speaking about the January window. I'm dreading it.
Well, you'll still have something to say about it, I'm sure.
Probably.
Right, thanks a lot, guys. Thanks a lot, everyone. We're going to get off. Have a great Christmas. Have a fantastic New Year. Hope all our clubs win. I hope Loudmouth takes his. Let's hang on before let's get it right.
He's had a look at the paper.
It's the Letchworth Garden City Eagles. I hope the Letchworth Garden. Everybody needs to follow them now. The Letchworth Garden City Eagles. Hope to see them in the Premier League within the next 10 years under Loudmouth.
Comment down below. Do you think they're going to get to the Football League before Bedford? Comment down below.
Oh yeah,
Barnet.
Who will get there first?
Barnet.
This is the start. This is the start of the race. This is the start of the progress race.
Would that be a dream, Matt, to take the Letchworth Garden City Eagles up and actually end up beating Barnet at Barnet? That would be nice, wouldn't it?
Do you know? I don't know how I feel.
Would there be some running up and down the touchline there?
What doing? Oh yeah, I was 100% doing Mourinho.
Yeah, good club. Good club.
Yeah. I think you don't know. It's easy saying it right now, but when you're in that moment, I mean, let's cross that bridge when we get there. We're at the moment. It's a pie in the sky. Deep down, I'll be a professional. If I've got a job to do, I'll do it. But
yeah.
It's good experience for you, though, isn't it? It's a good learning curve, and it'll set you up for the next. I mean, you must have ambitions to coach higher or manage higher. I mean, you've got your badges. Have you got more badges to do, or have you now got?
I know I've still got a long way to go, but with the whole pandemic and everything, where everything went down into lockdown, like most things did, everything come to a standstill. So it's still all up in the air with what's going on at the moment. But yeah, I'd love to go as far as I can in the game. That's my ambition. That's my my dream. But it might happen. It might not.
like Mike Bassett.
Well, yeah, but I won't be playing 4-4-2.
No? What do you play? What's your preferred?
I can't give away my secrets now, Lee, can I, mate? You never know who's watching.
There could be others.
People don't watch this back, ain't they?
Yeah.
I've just make sure you subscribe to these guys. Tyler Rowlinson, make sure you subscribe to him and Charlton Vlogs. Make sure you follow Jake and also Aaron, who, especially if you like roller coasters, because you're mad on them, aren't you?
I've just done my FA Playmaker. I've done my FA Playmaker as well, so I can.
Don't subscribe to Door.
I've started.
He's got too many already.
Yeah.
So you're doing your coaching badge as well, are you, Aaron?
Yeah. I've just done the FA Playmaker. I'm going to start getting into me because they gave me a list of clubs that I could volunteer to do it while doing my coaching badge, and one of them's Armed Thought Welfare, which is I think a few steps away from the National League. So might have a crack at that.
Best of luck to you. We may well hear one day Aaron is manager of Doncaster Rovers.
That's what I mean. That makes me think about Armed Thought Welfare against Donny Rovers in FA Cup. How would I feel if I was in charge of Armed Thought Welfare? And I'm like, I don't know how to feel in that moment. Like you, Matt, I don't know how I'd feel in that moment.
Would you like to, a quick question, here we go, from Eugene. Would you like to manage a team in the Premier League? Would you like to do that? Well, you like the money, surely. That'd be one thing. Even the gardening league would be okay, wouldn't it?
Absolutely.
Well, I've always said it. I'm not getting into football to be successful. I'm getting into football to get sacked. When you get 50 million payoff, mate, and then go on Sky for a couple of months and then get another job in football again. Yes, please.
Yeah, sacked again. Yeah, it's great, isn't it?
You know what I mean?
There's no pressure really at all, is there?
I've got to give you. I'm saying you got to give the trophies back. That money's mine. You ain't getting that back.
I mean, it would be nice to manage a team in the Premier League because the Premier League. One thing I can't take away from the Premier League is the passion in that league. Sometimes, like you just can't explain it. Especially that Liverpool 5-4 against Norwich. Can't explain it.
No, you really can't. Right, it's been fantastic. Thanks a lot. Have a great Christmas, all of you, and I hope your fortunes for Lincoln and obviously Donny turn around, and Tyler. Hope you.
If we get Paul Troll, fast chance of that.
Don't want to see you guys going down. You know what I mean? We just don't want to see you going down. So, thanks a lot for tuning in. Thanks a lot for watching. And if you're watching this on the rerun, thank you very much, everyone. Have a great Christmas, and we may see you in the new year. We may bring it back. Okay. Thanks a lot.
Have a good Christmas.
I leave what's left of last night behind, and I need to get some peace of mind. And when I need some peace of mind, I know where to find it is by the end of the road. So I walk and I keep on walking, though the shoes I wear are a mess. As I walk and I keep on walking till I'm at the end of the road. I walk until my feet are hurting, and I need to keep on going further, 'cause I can't keep my mind off things I'd be better off to leave behind. Gotta be careful not to get stuck. And so I walk and I keep on walking, though the shoes I wear are a mess. the road.